Hello everyone and welcome back to the most creative channel on YouTube. It is your weird makeup artist friend Cat Sketch to bring you one of the most spookiest makeup transformation videos while we tell some creepy tales, so stay tuned. Subscribe for more videos like this. We do 2 videos a week here on this channel every Monday and Friday telling spooky tales. We're just doing beauty makeups, body paintings, effects videos, many characters to come, so hit the notification bell for some more. As you can tell by the title of today's video, we're gonna try to conquer one of my most absolute favorite childhood characters, and that is the Crypt Keeper from the Tales of the Crypt. He is one of my absolute favorite people. I was lucky enough as a kid to stay up after 10 p.m. to watch this sometimes. His show was miraculous. The soundtrack's by Danny Elfman, and he is this very creepy, cryptic Crypt Keeper who tells the most spookiest tales, and they reenact his stories with actors. It was just literally my childhood. It's probably one of my all-time favorite shows. So we're gonna turn into him today while telling some very scary stories that I scoured around the internet to find some true ones. So let's get started. All right, I know my hair looks crazy, but off camera I did do it in like a braid situation so that we could put a bald cap on, because the hairline of the Crypt Keeper is like way over here. So I'm getting a plastic bald cap today. These ones are a little tricky and hard to use. They're expensive, but they look great if you do them right. And the seams of plastic ball caps just like disappear with acetone, so yes. It literally feels like an As Seen on TV Kids product that you fill with air or water and throw at people. I'm gonna look ridiculous. Oh, it smells so weird. Hi. Oh, we have a lot to cut off. This is a large, I think. So this first story I found on Reddit, so let's hope it's true. But this person was in college during finals week. Their 2 best friends, after a long night of studying in the library, they would go out to smoke weed and then go their separate ways. Like they'd be done for the night, and their friends lived on campus, but this person lived off campus. So when they would pick them up to drop them off at campus after their library studies and hanging out and stuff, they would park their car in a large commuter parking lot that overlooked a large river and some creepy woods. This is the tricky part of bald caps, is the ear. I've seen people slice ears. When it comes to bald caps, it's tricky. So it was around midnight when they were doing their usual smoking and listening to music when they noticed a police car in the area. The police car was driving in a parking lot with a spotlight, but the parking lot was like nearly empty, so it kind of like made no sense, you know? Paranoia set in with these college students, so they like put out their smoke and waited in silence for this police officer to leave the premises. And eventually the police officer and the cop car left, so they continued to enjoy their night. And they continued on, of course, with their night, but when the police officer left, all of a sudden this crazy woman appears out of nowhere and like starts raging. And she stopped in front of their car and started staring at them through the windshield. Shivers went down their spine because they couldn't get over like, why was she just staring at them, you know? But some of their friends were so high they didn't know if like they were high and that it was real or not. Paranoia was setting in and she kind of went away, so they don't know what really happened. So they continued to sit there but were shaky and like they didn't feel safe, so they kept looking behind their shoulder, behind their car. And this person's friends, when they're in the parking lot, were just like kind of weirded out and like making fun of them for being so paranoid, and they didn't really understand why their friend was being so paranoid. So he kept looking over his shoulder less and less, so he thought he was being paranoid too. But once he looked over his shoulder one time, he saw the woman sprinting towards their car, towards the driver's seat door. And not only that, but she had a knife in her hand this time, so he started the car systematically without even thinking of it or anything and booked it out of the parking lot not looking back, and he didn't look back until he was off the campus. Apparently she was creeping around all of these cars in the parking lot until she got to their car, and that's probably why the police officer was there. Apparently this woman had killed not only her husband, but the person her husband was cheating on her with. And that's what the police were looking for, and she was just going nuts on a rampage. Alright, now we're gonna use some liquid latex and do those like heavy cheekbones the Crypt Keeper is known. We're gonna get some cotton balls and some tissue paper with the liquid latex. And the police were also looking for this woman because they were looking for a source that she was also stealing people's cars and using violent force to pry open and get into them. So terrifying. I want to make the edges like thinner and then thicker here. Put some here, here. And this person and their friends would agree that this is probably the scariest thing that's ever happened to them. This next story is kind of short, but this person says one of their old friends actually went missing, and a friend of this person that went missing came to visit them a week or so later, I'm guessing after the fact, and they were acting weird saying, remember how we hung out last week, and just asking to hang out with them. But it's like she was just implying that weirdly, and it turns out is because this person was a suspect to their friend missing, to the person's murder case. So this next person says that they're 17 at home babysitting their little sister, who was 11 at the time. And the little sister was downstairs watching TV, and this person, the 17-year-old, was upstairs playing video games. And they're actually getting ready to go to bed, and this person is saying how their little sister's so awesome because she went to bed at a usual time without fighting or anything, you know? To her surprise, her mom cheerfully peeked her head in a darker room to wave goodnight. But she couldn't see her mom's face, she just saw a head poke into the room, which is creepy. And the head of the person looked at them back, then looked away all of a sudden. This is already getting scary to me. What? And she was surprised when she went down to see her sister because the sister was still up watching the last of her TV show and was still awake. But if it was her mother would have promptly put her to bed, you know? Because her mom was so much stricter, and the little sister asked her when mom and dad are gonna get home. Creepy. She was so freaked out by this because who was the person that she saw, so she took her sister immediately out of the house, smart girl, and put her in the car, and they waited in the car until her parents got home. And when she was in the car with her sister, she immediately called her parents, and her parents immediately came home. They actually searched the whole house, and it didn't look like there was a break-in, and no doors or windows were unlocked, but the side door of the home was open. And they still don't know who poked their head out of the room where their sister was. Scary. What if it was a spirit apparition, ghost? Like how I'm just like, oh, it can't be a real human trying to break into their house. Maybe it's a ghost. So this next story, when this person was around 10 or 11 years old, them, a friend, and their brother were playing outside in their own backyard. They ended up going over by this big pine tree in their backyard, and their friend finds a butcher knife. It was on the ground, and underneath it was a bottle of ketchup. Like, what? Is someone playing tricks? Ketchup with a butcher knife? Okay, what are we, in a lame Halloween attraction? But there was a dead gopher also laying next to it. Are we playing Clue, like a messed up version of Clue? This is crazy sounding already. They told their mom, who called the cops, who suspected it was a local criminal because the criminal's dad lived in their neighborhood. What? And the suspect had been hanging out in that area near those kids' backyard. What? A couple of nights later, they're fast asleep in their bed. It's around 2 a.m. And the mom comes flying into their bedroom screaming, "Get out of here!" at their window. It turns out the criminal was hiding in the tree, and their mom saw the criminal walking in their yard. He fled from their yard, of course, after the mom yelled. Thank goodness. Go mom. And a cop was driving around the roads with a spotlight on, trying to catch them, I'm sure, searching for this guy, but they never found out what happened after that. What? I'd want to know. But they still remember this 12 years or so later. Alright, this one sounds terrifying. I mean, all of them sound terrifying. But this girl, one of her closest friends, reported to the police that someone was trying to break into their house and she went missing. The next day, that happened after she reported to the police about someone trying to break into her home. The police wrote it off, saying this woman was mentally ill and didn't really care to help. What? Even though this woman had no history of mental illness. Excuse me, officer? They continued to search for a couple months. Who? Because was it the police? They don't seem to do nothing till they found her body in a creek nearby. It was a few miles away from her apartment. She had no shoes, no car, and no wallet. The creek also runs by the apartment where she lived. And it ruled virtually impossible for her body to get there just from her body floating down that stream. Her case went cold and it haunts this person, of course, because that was her good friend. Till this day, I don't blame her. What? I would become like Mulder and Scully. Like, I would need a duo tag team with someone if that was my friend to go after this case. So this next story short, this person used to volunteer at a summer camp when they were in high school. Fun. There's a woman she was very close to that worked there. This woman taught English and she never realized how crazy this woman was. This woman took the kids to downtown to rid the children's body, like a bunch of them, of demons. What? She cut the kids' hands with glass shards and cauterized them. And of course, she got caught by the cops. And she was arrested, thank God. Those poor children. This summer camp was ages 5 to 13 and this woman taught every single one of them English. So what did these kids go through, you know? This sounds like a documentary in the making. So this next story says that them and their sister were really young and that their uncle was a priest. It was actually their great uncle and he loved to tell them creepy bedtime stories. And they said it wasn't your average bedtime story either. They read from a book and it would it's like your campfire stories that take a long time. And their family stayed with their great uncle every Thanksgiving, just so happens. And during Thanksgiving at their uncle's, they had to share a room with their sister. Usually them and their sisters slept in twin beds, but this night they wanted to sleep in the same bed while their uncle told them bedtime stories. And this story that he told that night, their great uncle, was of a man whose hand got cut off and the hand he was given as a replacement was a hand from a murder. Their great uncle was a great storyteller and even mimicked the voices and made like different scenes with the voices and the characters. And some nights when he finished the story, he would tell his nieces to pray against the bed. But that night when they prayed, a hand came out from under the bed and it was their family member, his wife, trying to scare them. How cute, to make it seem all real, all the stories. Alright, so we were almost done. I'm gonna put on some hair and some eye contact lenses and we will be back. Oh, with an outfit too. And just like that, we have turned into the Crypt Keeper from the classic Tales from the Crypt. The contact lenses were from PeakyParadise.com. This is just a hair clip instead of a bow tie. Oh my goodness, I had so much fun doing this. It was so much work. I sat in this makeup chair for 3.5 hours. I hope you guys enjoyed all the creepy tales we told while we did this makeup look. Subscribe for more videos like this. We do 2 videos a week here on this channel every Monday and Friday. All the products that I used in this video will be listed down below. Also, leave a comment of what idea you would love to see next in a video. If I pick your comment, great idea, I will shout you out in the next video. Anyways, love y'all. Good night. Sweet dreams. Don't have any nightmares. Bye.